Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel if you're already subscribed. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're all okay. I'm not ill, if anybody's wondering. I've just come back from the school run, and yeah, my standards pretty much get lower with every school year. I think by the time you're sort of like 10 or 11, I'll probably just be like rocking up in my dressing gown with some rollers in my hair and my slippers on. So, you know, when you're up at the butt crack of dawn, I think that it's an excuse not to look your best. But anyway, what I want to talk about today, and I'd like to discuss with you, something that's just been on my mind just recently. I mean, do you know what? It's something that's always bothered me ever since I was a little girl. Actually, it's something that's really bothered me. But just recently, it's been like brought to the forefront of my mind. Let's say, we went to Haven a couple of weeks ago, just right before the kids went back to school. We went to Haven, Great Yarmouth. And the thing that I want to actually speak to you about is people who stare at those with disabilities, those who are different. And I'm kind of hoping, if I'm really honest, that some of those people who stare are going to get to see this video and understand actually the impact that they have and the difference that they make. Because I think the reason why it's been at the forefront of my mind so much is there was a couple of little like minor incidents while we were in Great Yarmouth. One was at the pleasure beach. Bought Toby some tokens, got a big pile of them, because you know, he likes like the carousel and stuff. I thought he's going to want to go on the rides, and a couple of the rides that he was showing some interest in, I tried to help him get on and use and stuff, and you know, it was sort of taking him a little bit longer to get on the rides. He's a bit unsure, you know, it's confusing for him. He's kind of looking, thinking, yeah, it does look fun, my mum's on there, which is good, but I'm still not 100% convinced. It was taking like a bit longer. You know, he could have just done, really, to be honest with you, 10 minutes probably to stand there and give himself up and then get on, but obviously people were waiting. And I was reminded very frequently that people were waiting. And I'm only talking about 2 or 3 minutes. And I know, I understand, kids don't want to wait, I get it. You know, I've had NT kids in my care as well, I understand. But you know, he's entitled to exist, isn't he, to be honest. And there was a few rides that we either tried to go on and failed, or we tried to go on and he went on. But basically, in a nutshell, at one point at Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, there is this like horse track thing that these little horses go around, and you can get on them with your kids, and they like go around and they like judder all the way around this track. And Toby was watching it, really liked the look of it. So I thought, oh, go on now, I'll take him up. So he gets in the queue to get on, and I was kind of dreading getting to the front, because that's when, you know, it takes a bit longer and people look. And I mean, bearing in mind, Toby really, aside from the fact that he's wearing ear defenders, I think Toby probably, yeah, I think if you just walk past Toby, I think you'd just assume he was NT. You'd just assume he was NT and like wearing headphones, just listening to music or something. So when we got to the front and it was our turn, he couldn't make his mind. He really wanted to get on. He really wanted to get on. And bless him, he just was like a bit scared too, like, because it's all new and different, and he's, you know, his understanding's obviously not the same as that of NT children. So, you know, I was trying different things. Toby's a very tall, very broad boy. He's 8, but I would say Toby's about the size of your average 12-year-old. He's a unit. And I was trying to pick him up and help him get his like leg over the horse, and he wouldn't put his leg on, so that all went wrong. And then I thought, oh, I'll get on. Turns out I'm not that flexible. It took me longer than I was hoping for to get on. And then he was like thinking, oh, he's looking, he was like, oh, go on then, I will. And he put the wrong, you know, like how you get like the little foothold, you put your foot on and then put your other leg over. He put the wrong foot in. So then it all kind of went a bit wrong then. And then there was just one moment during all of that, while all that was going on, that I kind of stopped and looked around, and all I saw was one face after another, and they were either looking at me angrily, just blankly staring, or with their mouth wide open as though, I don't know, as though I was trying to put like a unicorn on there or something, like something that they'd never seen before in their life. And I mean, I'm not talking about a small amount of people here. I would say, do you know, it's got to have been about 50 people. And to a certain extent, it's water off my wings because, you know, at that point, in that moment, I have to concentrate on Toby. And actually, I would describe myself, I don't know, you'd have to ask those who know me, some people might disagree, but I would describe myself as quite a laid-back, chilled-out person. I'm not one to go flying off the handle, but that kind of thing, I get like a red mist, and I want to have a go at all of them. And I can't, because I've got to sit to Toby. I can't just go off and start kicking off or shouting or doing anything else, because I'm dealing with my situation that I've got in hand here. And most of the time, I don't think I even notice these people because I don't really care. You know, I'm very chilled out, I suppose you could say, about that kind of thing. I don't really take a lot of notice of other people. I mean, like my neighbours could walk out the front door naked, you get in their car and drive off, and I don't reckon I'd notice. I've got no interest, I've got no headspace for it. So, anyway, I'm rambling. There was a couple of instances like that. There was another one where we were actually in the Haven resort itself, and we went into the restaurant for our breakfast, and the lady in there actually was really lovely. She was asking me about signing and how to learn to sign and stuff like that. Really genuinely interested in Toby's condition and what she could do to help him. She was off cutting up straws and fetching them for him to stream and stuff. She was lovely. But in the same sort of building, there was a big soft play area, which I was quite happy for him to go in. But when we went there, I didn't realise that was in there. And I was wearing a dress. And if Toby wants to go in something like that, I have to get in with him. So I needed to be wearing trousers or shorts, basically. I don't think Haven Great Yarmouth would have appreciated me mooning them every 30 seconds and their children in the soft play area. So Toby got really, really upset. And to cut a long story short, he ended up in a full meltdown. Toby doesn't hit, he doesn't get violent or anything like that. He just really screams and cries. It's very much like he's like a very upset toddler, but obviously he's bigger. So again, same sort of situation really, just people just looking. And do you know, it's like, the thing that really irritates me about it is that they get so engrossed in staring at him when he's like that they forget I'm there, and I'm looking right back at him, thinking to myself, at least shut your mouth. So, you know, when these people are staring, they forget I'm there. And I was with my mum and Lydia as well. I'll tell you what, my mother, don't let her catch you. But in all seriousness, like, oh God, these people, they're so absorbed in themselves, so self-absorbed, that they're standing there gawping, and then they'll realise after a period of time that I'm standing there looking right back at them, and then they like jump out of their skin, they like rat up a drain pipe, they either disappear or they look the other way. Nobody ever, or very rarely, one or two people do, very rarely, will just smile and say hello. And every one of these experiences that I am explaining to you now and telling you now, not one person asked me if they could help me, if there's anything they could do to help. Or, you know, not one person said, take your time, don't worry. I had a lot of tutting and a lot of looking at the watch and a lot of like, oh, don't worry, it's your turn soon. God, it's taking ages, isn't it? I had a lot of that. But not one person offered to help. And I said at the beginning of the video, it's something that's bothered me since I was little. I've got an older sister who's disabled. And I have got very vivid memories of being out with her when I was little, when she was looking after me, when I was in her care, and people staring. And I remember at that age, and I'm talking about when I was like 6 and 7 years old, looking back at her as though to say, why, what are you doing? Why are you staring? How rude. And the same thing happening back then. They catch my eye and be like, oh, I wasn't looking. Why do you do that? Somebody tell me why people do that, because I don't understand, and I didn't understand long before autism was a part of my life. Why anybody would do that. And you know what? If anybody out there disagrees with me, that's absolutely fine. Comment underneath, say what you really think. You know, this is a safe place where you can say anything you want, but I will ask you to keep it respectful. And I know within our community, I find I'm often, the kind of vibe is often like, yeah, but we have to teach with kindness, you know, and we have to educate people about our children's condition, about various different disabilities and stuff like that, and how to handle things and how to be respectful, and you know what we'd like them to say, what we wouldn't like them to say. I don't feel kind at that moment in time. I don't want to be kind to those people. I mean, there was one time we went to my niece and nephew's school. I'll not name the school. Some of you, if any of you recognise me from there, and it was you, you'll know that I'm on about you. I went to my niece and nephew's school, and we've been practising Toby not going in his pushchair, and I had taken him many times into the school in his pushchair before to pick the other two kids up. Toby finished his school before that. And it's a very funny place, that school is, because at that time, I remember at that time, people literally, like, their head like doing like a 360 and their mouth hanging wide open. They're looking at him as though I'm like I say, like I'm pushing a unicorn along in a pushchair. It's like they've never seen a disabled child before in their life. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So rude. Oh, you can tell, I'm sure you can tell I'm angry. I am angry, and I've been angry about it for a long time, and telling you guys about it's making me feel a whole lot better. But anyway, I tried to take Toby in on foot, and it was a disaster. This school's got a very narrow walkway to get in and out. We got in, we got the kids. By the time we were heading out, he was done. He had a full-blown meltdown in this narrow walkway. We were in everyone's way. People have to climb over us, and they were climbing over us to get by. And tutting and looking, and there was a little crowd building over here, just looking at us as though to say like, oh, you know, I don't even know what they were saying, to be honest with you. I needed to find something to do, didn't they? And I remember looking up and shouting over to them, take a photo, it will last you longer. And I don't feel at all guilty for being like that. I don't think I have to be nice to people who display such disrespect and bad manners towards my son at all. And to be honest, if you need to be educated that it is rude to stare, you need to go back to primary school. You don't need me to tell you that, do you? That's just what I think. You know, that's just my, you know, everything that I'm saying here is just my opinion, and you are very welcome to comment underneath. And if you totally disagree with me and you are one of these amazing people with the patience of an absolute saint who calmly educates people who do that, I absolutely salute you, because you're a nicer person than I am by quite a lot. I mean, I honestly don't lose my rag very often. That I lose my rag then. That's a trigger for me, that is, and I'll get really facey and really nasty, and I can't even help myself, and I don't ever feel guilty afterwards, never. And like, do you know, I mean, because the kids, Madison and JJ are both NT, and they obviously, they know, you know, they hear me say, oh, those people are so rude, they're all staring at Toby, that's absolutely disgusting. And Jay, I very, very rarely take Toby into that school now. It's literally, if there is no other way, if I can get somebody to sit in the car with Toby, I do. If I can get somebody else to go, I do. If I can get somebody else to make the journey entirely and take Toby home, I do. But if for any reason I have had to take Toby into the school before, I obviously do take him in his pushchair now, and Jay will just stand there and go, he's rude, he's staring, and I let him, because they all like, well, they're all like, I wasn't, and you know, I don't know, I just don't know, like, I don't know what's the matter with people. I don't remember ever thinking that was okay. Long before disability was on my radar, even as a small child, I don't remember ever thinking that was okay. It's not okay. Don't do it. It's rude. It's awful. Anyway, another one of my little tales that I need to tell you about in this video is, it's not so much a staring thing, but it was just a horrible experience. It was last year during the summertime. We went to Telford Park, and they've got one of those, like, there's loads of different activities at Telford Park, but one of the activities that they've got is like a outdoor water park thing, where it, like, you know, the bucket drops and water squirts out the floor, and you spin something and water comes out and all that kind of thing. And there's like a constant flow of water going along the floor down a drain. And Toby was in there, and I was actually inside the enclosure that is in, but standing right on the edge, just watching him play. And, you know, it was quite busy. There was quite a few children in there. There was another special needs little boy in there. And I actually, like, really stare at Toby when he's doing anything like that, because there's a lot of other children around, and I'm afraid to take my eyes off him for a second in case he disappears on me. So I wasn't taking a lot of notice of what anyone else was doing. And I just heard this woman behind me, right behind my ear hole, shouting really loudly, "Look at that disgusting little boy. Oh, he's just weed on the floor. What a dirty, revolting little boy. Oh, that's disgusting." And what had actually happened was, one of the other special needs little boy who was in there was wearing, like, just normal, you know, swimming shorts, loose swimming shorts. And he'd stood, some of you might not think, oh, this is remotely funny, but it did tickle me a little bit. He'd stood over the, like, drain bit where the water was all flowing, and he'd had a wee, and I think, to me, it looked like he'd had an accidental wee. The boy, I would say the boy was about 8. And she was going on and on and on. And I turned to her and I said, "I think he's got special needs." And she just stopped talking and just looked at me with her mouth open. So I didn't say any more, because, you know, I wanted to be one of these amazing people who's really calm and just, you know, quietly educates people. So I turned back around. And after about 30 seconds, she went, "Well, even so, where is his mom?" So I turned around again and I said to her, "Most likely hiding somewhere because of your big mouth. And I'm not sorry." And then she said, "I don't want my children to play in there now." So I turned around again and said, "Yet you haven't moved them." And then that was sort of like the end of that, really. She shut up, I shut up, and we left it. And me and Toby left not long after. But this little boy, I have no idea whether the little boy's mum could hear, whether she was watching him, what was happening, no idea at all. But I believe that it was an accidental way. Secondly, I'm not saying that it's all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't like him to come in my living room and we on the floor. And if it was in like the sandpit or anything, it wouldn't be all right. It looks, I would imagine that's a child who most likely wears a nappy when he's out. And to be honest, it was like going down a drain where there was just water constantly flowing. It's not like he like weed on the equipment or even on the floor where anyone was going to walk or anything. Like, it was, to me, it seemed quite trivial. Like I said, I'm not saying it's all right for kids to just go weeing everywhere. That's not what I'm saying at all. So don't anybody comment underneath that I'm expecting special treatment, that he should just be able to go and just like wee all over kids' equipment and everybody be all right with it because he's got special needs. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, it just went down a drain. And to be honest, if you've ever been swimming, right, if people take their toddlers swimming, are you seriously telling me that you don't think them toddlers wee in the swimming pool? Really? And they're babies? Come on. That woman stood there, saw that, and immediately jumped on an opportunity to make herself look and feel better than that other family, whoever was with that young man. And then that young man. And just because that little boy didn't react to what she was saying, he could hear her. We could all hear her. With a massive mouth. She just saw an opportunity to make herself feel big and superior and better, and grabbed it with both hands and stood there trapping off. And I'm pretty sure, to be honest with you, that everybody standing around her was kind of feeling a bit awkward and thinking, oh my God, that little boy's got special needs and she doesn't realise. And, you know, she wasn't bothered enough to take her kids out. The kids are still playing in there. She was just bothered enough to stand there trapping off at the side, trying to embarrass this little boy and his family. All of these things, these are memories that I'm telling you now, these like little incidents that I'm telling you now, are all like, they're things that I think about often, you know. They're not things that I was just like raked up to make this video. Though when we were in Great Yarmouth and that was happening, it sort of triggers the other memories of it happening. And I do just think to myself, what is wrong with people? At least shut your mouth. Standing there gawping with your mouth wide open, you look ridiculous. How can you be like that, like self-absorbed and that full of your own self-importance? Like, that's why I'm so angry. I've just answered my own question. I'm angry because why? Starers, do you think that you are so important and so much better than him to stand there and judge and look and tut and whatever else? You know, for a start, every single one of us, every person on this planet, we're all one terrible accident, terrible unfortunate illness, horrible thing happening to us away from being disabled. Every one of us, it's there but for the grace of God. The thing that makes me so angry, that really like boils my blood, is I look at him and I think, don't you dare feel superior to him, to Toby, to my son. Don't feel like you're better than him. Don't feel like your kids are better than him. Toby, he experiences difficulties that most people, and all of our children experience difficulties that most people will thankfully never, ever, ever understand. And he is beautiful. His heart is golden. He loves me like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. He is honest. He's full of joy. He makes do in any situation. He makes his needs known even though he can't speak because he's that intelligent. he's just like, couldn't be more amazing, more breathtaking, more perfect. Don't look down through your nose. Feel superior, feel entitled to stare, to comment, to intervene, to mouth off. Don't. You are not better than those people. And the exact same thing with my sister when I was little. At the time I didn't realise it, but now I know why I was angry. Now I know why I was angry, because she's like worth a million of every one of them people who were staring at her. She had like a hard time growing up. She had a hard time growing up. She's got a physical disability. She's always had pain. She's had discomfort. And she was out walking around the town centre looking after me perfectly well, probably better than most other people whose care I'd been left in at times, and getting on with her life and doing amazing, and you're standing there staring because you just think that you're somehow superior and allowed to do that. No, you aren't. You aren't. And that's why people get angry with you when you do it. And nobody is looking at you. If you're taking the mick, if you're commenting like that horrible woman at Telford Park, nobody's thinking to themselves, oh, look how brave they are, look how superior they are, how authoritative they are. They're looking at you thinking, knob. That's what they're thinking. Or they should be. That's what I'm thinking. So, you know what, guys? I don't want to start a war here. If you disagree with me, that is absolutely fine, but please do keep it civil. That's all I'm asking. You can feel free to comment and say, say what you think. You're allowed to think what you think, and that's absolutely fine. But please do share the video, because if just one of these people watches this video and actually stops and thinks to themselves, actually, why do I think I'm better? You know, if you haven't got integrity, you've got nothing to offer anyone. So, you know, I hope even if it only reaches one person who does that, who next time might just be a bit kinder. I'm not asking for sympathy. I don't feel sorry for myself. I feel like the luckiest mom on the face of this earth. I don't feel sorry for myself at all. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not even really asking for kindness. I'm just asking, just mind your own business. If you can't say or do anything nice, just keep walking. Be a bit cooler, if anything. So, on that note, please do give the videos a thumbs up down below. Please do hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so as you see our next video. Thank you so much to everybody who's watched. See you soon. Bye.